Hello, pet parents. I'm Robert Semro, and I am joined by someone who has entertained me and educated me, as well as my kids, for a number of years. She's back with a brand new book that is wonderful, full of information. I want to introduce you all to Diane Rose Solomon. Diane, thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Well, now we've got this book here, everybody. Tell us a little bit about what to expect when adopting a dog. I devoured this in one sitting. This is really wonderful.
Well, that's great, but the cool thing about this book is that it doesn't have to be devoured in one sitting, that it's really appropriate for anybody who's even thinking about adopting a dog. You can take a look at the book and say, okay, where am I in this process? The first part starts out with, am I responsible? Am I even ready for a dog? There's a whole checklist, questionnaire. And then if you get through that process, well, where do I go to even find a pet? So it's broken up into 5 modules. And then if you even get through that process, you can read the 3rd module, which is what do I need to do? What do I need to know in order to be successful? And then the 4th module, when you're ready for that, is how do I integrate this new dog into my home so that it's a successful relationship? And then the last part, again, this might be long into the future, is we have this wonderful dog, but maybe we have a very high energy dog, and how do we deal with this so that the dog is happy and not tearing up our house? And maybe they want to go to agility, but a lot of people don't know about these things. It's in the book. Or we have a senior pet, or some of the health issues the dogs might have. It's all in there, but again, it's digestible, so you can take it as you need it.
Well, I love it. And you mentioned the checklist. It really makes it simple to go through. Hey, have I done all these things? Because as you point out, it's half the time it's knowing that something like that exists. You also have wonderful links. I mean, just pages and pages of where to go, because we want to put it into action, but we don't always know how to do it. You've made it simple.
Oh, great. Thanks. Well, what's cool about this book is that it's not really thick. And it's not really thick on purpose, because some people don't want to have to pick up a big giant Bible of a book. There's so much, how could I even, where do I even begin? So there's, the basics are all in here, but then as you said, I've got links to over 100 articles and products and organizations, so anybody can go get more information if they want it. So the basics are there, and oh, I don't need to learn more about that, but I could sure learn more about this. And the links are in there, and then I show you how to find the link in the paperback version too.
Yeah. Now, this is the kind of book that I know is a labor of love. It takes a long time to do this. Tell us about your process that you went through to pull all this together.
Well, it all started a few years ago, really 2.5 years ago, when I realized that a lot of people that I knew were asking me sort of the same questions. Where do I go? What do we need to know? Or even, not even adoption questions. My dog is having this problem, and I was just sending people to, and I thought, have become a resource for people. But this is the people that I know. What about all of the thousands of people that I don't know that have similar questions or different questions? Why don't I put everything down on paper that I know, put it all together, and then I started interviewing other pet professionals, veterinarians, other pet parents, to get an even rounder book so that it wasn't just my knowledge, but a lot of professional information. So there's, as I said, over 100 links in there, articles, quotes from so many people, and so there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Tremendous amount of good stuff. And I like the fact that too, it does take you from that first step of, am I even ready, on into, now that I have this wonderful family member, what kind of things can I expand for them? Kind of like we do with our kids. Okay, you know, you want to play soccer, you want to get into dance classes, you want to play Little League, whatever. There's so many options. Where do you go? You've laid it out for them. Now, this isn't your first endeavor into the writing world. I know my kids and I enjoyed the JJ book series.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that for a second, because that's wonderful.
Well, that started 4 or 5 years ago. It was sort of a similar idea. I sat down one day. I wasn't planning on being an author. It wasn't in the plan. And I wrote out my story about how we adopted our first dog. Again, because I felt like here I was, this person who wasn't thinking about adopting a dog, and we accidentally adopted a dog. And I bet there's a lot of people out there that if they had a little bit of information, maybe they might adopt a dog too. But how am I going to share this? So I wrote out my story, and I said, well, this could be a kid's book. And so JJ the American Street Dog was born. And then I thought, well, what if there was a whole series around JJ about all the other things one might want to know about parenting a dog? And this would be great for kids. So then the next one is JJ Goes to Puppy Class. And then there's 3 more behind it that are not yet published. But you've seen the first 2, JJ the American Street Dog and JJ Goes to Puppy Class. So, and then it sort of naturally led to all of this.
No, it's wonderful. I mean, you're doing so many wonderful things. Where can people find what you have going on? Because I know I see you throughout the industry at a whole slew of different events, doing so many different things. I want to make sure the folks know where they can stay in touch with you and learn more about not only your books, but also all the things that you have going on.
Great. Well, I have a website, and it's my name, DianeRoseSolomon.com. And then the books can be found at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com and all the other e-retailers. But great place to find out about me is at my website, www.DianeRoseSolomon.com.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for everything you're doing in the pet world. It makes a big difference. And I know my kids and I have appreciated it. And I'm sure everybody who reads these important books are going to appreciate it as well.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.